Facebook?
I think I shared it. I'm so bad at this stuff. Look.
Oh my goodness. I was talking this whole time. I told you what did I say earlier when we were backstage, that there's so many buttons. And I didn't unmute my mic, and it's just funny because in my headphones, the feed I have going to the Instagram, that's what's like. So I'm like, they can hear me on the Instagram, but they couldn't hear me on the Facebook. So yeah, let me do that again. Give it up tonight for our guests, Scarred Jeffries and Half-A-Shipwreck, y'all. You just hear all the cheering.
Hello.
But yeah, we got a nice little show for y'all. We thank y'all for tuning in. Now that you can hear me, I'll say all that over again. That's a good start, right? When you forget to unmute your mic, that's a sign of good luck. I would say. The audience tend to think so. So I was just seeing if anyone was paying attention. I was like, "Can you read my lips?" No. But yeah, so we thank y'all for tuning in this evening. It's going to be fun. I'm really glad that we were able to get this show together because, yeah, both of these bands are very, very unique in what they do. And one band I'm familiar with, I met while playing at a venue. And then one of them, Scarred Jeffries, I've never met you guys.
Not in person. We've
Not in person.
all
Yeah.
the same, groups of friends and stuff, but
Yeah, so
actual
it's
person.
it's really cool that like I did that. That's one thing I've loved about this show and putting it together is that it can put me in contact with people that I've never crossed paths with. Like we run around with the same people, we know a lot of the same gente and stuff, but we've never like really met in person and stuff. And I've seen videos and I've seen stuff, and that was a lot of stuff too. And that's what got me to get Half-A-Shipwreck again, because I met these guys playing at Blue Grasshopper. They played after me, and we just got to talking and stuff. And they're really heavy into the busking scene, and they do a lot of busking and stuff. And I was really amazed with what they were doing as a duo. And then they posted a video, and I was like, "Oh, I gotta get these guys too." And then you guys did a video, and then I was like, "Hey, and I was like, that'd be perfect to put it there." Like
it's I don't think we've ever been more perfectly matched on a sharing a bill with anybody before, so I'm really excited about this.
Right. I'm like, I've got to call my wife and be like, "You got to come home and you got to perform with me now," because that's the format of the show. Here's the tambourine.
It's taken off.
I'll be like, here's the tambourine. 2 and 4. All right. But yeah, no. So like, I look forward to it. Both bands, very unique, and the same thing with the repertoire as far as the music goes and stuff too. And I love that. As far as my music and the stuff that I play, I try to keep it diverse and stuff. And so I really dig. And then with my looping and stuff, the arrangements tend to run a little different. And so I think the matchup is really nice because everybody does that with these groups. The arrangements are a bit different, and the song selection is really all over the place. So it's really good. You know what I mean? And it's good though, because that's really what kind of keeps the audience engaged, I think, a lot of the times, when you can kind of pull a bit from everywhere. Because I think us as music fans, that's how we are. Like, we don't just listen to one style. Like, we like to listen to a lot of different things. We're influenced by a lot of stuff.
Absolutely.
So I think that it gets reflected in the playing, you know what I mean? And then the song selection too, because you want to think about stuff and you're like, I really love this song and I'd like to do something with it. You know what I mean? And so, but yeah, so I'm excited. This is going to be fun. How's everybody been during this time? Everybody?
Oh, peaks and valleys. Yeah, but hanging in there. Others have it quite a bit worse than we do, so we're fortunate. Counting our blessings and trying to make the best of it.
Totally.
Yeah.
And you have Shipwreck?
Oh, here, yeah. It's been, like ups and downs, as she said, but mostly keeping busy in the studio, so that's fun.
Right. At least with this downtime, it's given us time to put a little bit more in the production end and creative end of stuff.
Right.
So that's nice. Where's everybody at right now? Like, Half-A-Shipwreck, where are you guys at? Like, where are you streaming from?
Our home base is usually in Santa Fe, New Mexico, but we do a lot of traveling for this crazy music life. And currently we find ourselves in rural Idaho.
Nice.
Idaho, wow. Oh,
that's awesome. And Jeffries, you guys are here in Albuquerque?
Yeah, we're here in Albuquerque. We're streaming from a friend's house because our place is kind of like a bit black hole for internet service. So a friend was generous and let us use his fantastic space and his lights and all the fun stuff.
Cool.
So.
Right, Mr. Deo Nevares or Narvaez?
Yeah. Dio. Yeah, he's a local singer as well. And
right, I was gonna be good. I need to reach out to him so I can get him on, since I know.
Absolutely.
He already has a setup, so I know.
He does. Yeah,
It's
he's
like
done quite a few of these things too, and he's on the like the open mics with Oscar Butler and stuff as well. So we
cool.
figured
Shout
we'd
out to
use his
Oscar.
assistant. Yeah, go
Yeah,
Oscar.
I've done one of his. I think I've done 2 of his open mics.
Oh,
too,
okay,
and stuff.
nice.
So I've been during this time. That's what I'm saying. This, and then I've had him on the show. So like this time, and the show has really been good for bringing people together, and it's been a lot of fun.
Now, we've never met Oscar in person, but we mutually follow each other on Instagram. And he's another local that we're like, oh, yeah, we go in the same circles, and I'm sure we're fixing to meet one day.
Right.
Yeah, totally. That's awesome. Yeah, he actually does like busking and stuff too.
Mhm.
He's performed. I remember my wife went to Einstein Bagel on San Mateo, and he was there one time early morning and stuff. And she's like, "There's this guy there," and I was like, "Yeah, I know who that guy." I was like, "I know that guy," and that was before I'd ever met him or anything. So it was like
Right.
cool. But so he definitely gets out, and he's very gung ho about that stuff too. When we talk about that, like the guerrilla style playing and stuff. That's you know what I mean. And like I recently have done. I just went to Old Town, and then I did one outside of Marble and stuff recently because the weather has been very up and down. So like when I
Right.
looked, it was like, oh, the weather's great today. Boom. So I grabbed the stuff, loaded up, went out, hit some spots and stuff like that. And then I was fortunate enough to do an interview with Half-A-Shipwreck about busking and stuff, that there is some stuff
Oh,
that
that's
they're working
great.
on. So hopefully we'll talk about that here during the show. You guys can fill us in on that, how that's going and stuff. And yeah, so it's just getting out and just playing where you can, being self-sufficient with that. So he's all about that as well too. So shout out to
Absolutely.
Oscar Butler. Check him out if you guys haven't, and then make sure tonight, if you aren't familiar with our guests Scarred Jeffries and Half-A-Shipwreck, make sure you check them out. I'll be blasting the links and stuff like that while they perform. And right now, since we haven't been playing live and stuff, this is one of the avenues that we've taken to try to raise money in the live aspects. So anything that you donate tonight to these performers it'll go straight to them, to their links and stuff, to their music and all that. So yeah, we thank you for tuning in and supporting and clicking those links and keeping us going. So are we ready to play a little music, y'all?
Sure.
I was
Yeah.
born ready.
Did we decide
Good
who
answer.
is always
You guys can
which
go
is
for it,
weird.
Half-A-Shipwreck if you'd like. You want to start
Do
us off?
y'all want to?
Oh, why not? Why not? Why not?
All right. Cool. We're gonna hand the stage over to Half-A-Shipwreck, y'all. So give them a round of applause. Show them some love.
Rolling over what's left of who is said to say when you want to.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Very nice.
Well, cheers. Thank you, guys.
I was more nervous than playing live. That was pretty nice.
It totally is. Streaming is
Best
totally.
But so we often do a lot of street performance, and I always find it first day that we go to a corner that we had never been before, I'm always very nervous, a little like tonight. And then it's like the next day or any other time will come, I'm like, I own this street corner. It's mine.
Yeah, girl.
But it's always that first day where you're like, oh, I don't know. You get
That
the
means you
first
take
day,
it
but I'm like,
seriously, you know.
exactly.
Totally.
We
It's
just
totally.
kind of- oh, pardon me.
Oh no, go for it. Go for it. Oh.
I was going to say, we just kind of, went head first into that song. I don't know if it's good form to say that's an original Half-A-Shipwreck tune. It's called Say When You Want To.
It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
That's
Thank
cool.
you. Thank
Awesome. It's a really great song.
you.
Y'all gonna be
Maybe s-
recording that and releasing that here soon?
We do have a live recording of this that we did with our drummer, Mr. Quinn Duncan, back in Santa Fe. That can be found right now on Spotify, Amazon, iTunes, all that shebang of the streaming world. But I'm working on putting it out there for downloading and buying physical CDs on our beloved website, bandcamp.com. I really love Bandcamp and what they do for independent artists. So give them
Right.
a shout out.
Better. Right, I just fill in, we have, when we're in New Mexico, we have a drummer. He doesn't come with us, though, so I just do that.
Yeah, let me move our video a little bit so everybody can see what Robert's got cooking. It's a very unique situation of his own design. That's a backwards cone.
I love it.
Trash.
I got a bicycle.
And then right here, he's also playing a hi-hat and good old bass here.
Totally.
Cool.
That's when I met you, y'all. That was what it was because I got done and again just in and out, like boom. Got done playing. I had to get to another gig. And I got down out of the way and I saw you guys setting up and I was like, what is this? And then I saw it was just really cool. And then I actually stuck around for like I saw you guys, I think it was Kids by MGMT.
Oh, yes, we often use that as an opener.
And that one, yeah. And I was like, yo, this is, and then like the little bells, like he had the little, the bells to do the melody and stuff. And I was just like, yo, this is really cool. And then we started talking and all, and then you mentioned the whole busking and all that. And so I was like, yo, this is like, and then seeing the post that you made when I see about him working on stuff. So it's really cool. That's why I was like, I gotta get, because like I said, both bands are unique in the arrangements and the lineup. So it's really cool. Like it's like, yeah, I'm excited. Like a lot of times, I don't want to play. Like I just want to host and like just kind of chill and listen to music and
Well, thank you for bringing us all together. I mean,
puff a little bit. You know what I mean?
we wouldn't have met this amazing other duo if it wasn't for you. So
Oh, well, thank y'all. Thank y'all for being a part of it, taking the time out. And I just realized, like I said, I was gonna go next, so I'm like, let me switch up real
Just
quick.
come together.
I do. I totally. That's what happens when
that
I
last
listen.
song flustered us, lady.
It did.
It gave me like Natalie Merchant vibes, sort of, in parts.
It did.
You have a great tonality.
Thank you so much. And ditto, right back at you.
Oh, thank
because
you.
We've been rocking out on your guys' Instagram.
We've been kind of stalking you a bit, yeah. in a very good way, in a very innocent way.
It's a mutual stalking.
Oh, good. We'll have to
Okay,
collaborate someday.
All right. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all see me?
Yeah, looking good, my man.
Okay, cool. I had to switch. Usually I do this during the first song, and I do it during the song before me, and I totally was just jamming out.
Was too good.
Yeah, I was like, and I was doing some other stuff, and I was like, oh man, like, and then I realized right now when we were just talking, and I said that, and I was like, oh shit, you're next.
That's a nice thing, I guess, about the virtual stuff is it's kind of more laid back and personable and real, I guess, Sometimes
Totally.
I think a lot of the stuff that happens on stage, the audience doesn't really get to see as much. And I think it's kind of neat to be, I guess, more included in the process and everything else.
Right. Well, too, I think there's more like live, you can roll through it a lot easier.
Mhm.
Like you can kind of like hide it and they don't notice.
Right.
In this, I feel there's no audience, so it is, you feel more naked. And then I go back and I
Right.
watch the streams, and I'm like, oh, that wasn't that bad. Like that wasn't.
Right.
That, like I'm like, oh, okay, it wasn't as noticeable as I thought. You know what I mean? But like a lot of times too, with video, you feel video isn't as forgiving.
Right.
Okay, there we go. I had to get my my headphone thing going. But yeah, so we thank y'all for tuning in tonight. And that's another thing too, thinking to myself, like, what am I gonna play? I always like, but this one I was actually thinking about it because I've been doing like with the busking, it's given me chance to break stuff out and work on arrangements and stuff. And
It sometimes gives you more room to kind of spread out when there's, you know, I feel like sometimes when there's less members, less people playing, you kind of have to get creative to fill the space, and you can come up with some really interesting stuff by just kind of letting your intuition guide you.
right. Well, too, what I found with the freedom of, because some of this stuff has been instrumental and like working on arrangements and melodies on the guitar and stuff. And then the stuff that I do sing, I find with the looper and stuff, it gives me the freedom that I can do whatever I want. Like I can switch up the song every time. Like I don't ever have to play it the same way twice.
Right.
Like, because then I don't have to explain it to anybody and be like, okay, it goes like this. And even though it's the same chords, like the rhythm will be different.
Right.
So to me, it's there's that freedom of.
I was watching the Nosotros, the Americanos episode you posted. That was very interesting. I had no idea you guys were even participating in that whole thing. It was a very cool little documentary, I guess you would call it, or.
Yeah, I'm not sure. They reached out to my drummer and my guitarist, and so we got the call to be there. And so like they reached out to them though. Like it was kind of cool in that where it was like sometimes with that band, it's kind of like that. We're not necessarily looking. We just get these calls and we're like, yeah.
You were hand-picked.
Yeah, so it was really cool. It was a great experience. And so especially too at Evangelo's in Santa Fe, if you've ever had the experience to. That's been our home for like a long time, so it was kind of appropriate to do that there. And then anything Vice, I like a lot of stuff on Vice, so it was cool. There we go. I was like, why is my guitar not making noise?
We were having technical issues earlier as well.
It's all good. But now we're not. So yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and take the stage. Everyone take a little break, and we will see y'all in a minute. We thank y'all for tuning in tonight. I'm going to play a little number that we all might know, just to ease us in the evening. reggaeton for you all night. I usually do this one. A little more different, you know. Thought to myself, let's make it a little upbeat, you know. Make you move your feet, you see. Take this one here all the way back to Jamaica, you know? We just lost this man's brother this week. The old Bob Marley tune. His brother Bunny Wailer went home. So now Bunny, Peter and Bob together again, singing sweet, sweet, sweet harmonies together, you know? So we're gonna take this one back to the Trench Town, you know? Sing along and tell me you do this one. No woman, no cry. No woman, no cry. No woman, no cry. No woman, no cry. Said I remember when we used to sit in the government yard in Bouquet, observing the hypocrites as they mingle with the good people we meet. Good friends we've had, good friends we've lost along the way. In this great future, you can't forget your past. So dry your tears, I say. No woman, no cry. No woman, no cry. Say, hey, little darling, don't shed no tears. No woman, no cry. Said I remember when we used to sit in the government yard in Woodgate, and then Porter would keep the fire alive as it would burn it through the night. And we would cook green chili pozole, which I'll share with you. Said my feet is my only carriage, so I got to push on through. While I'm gone, I need you. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Yes, everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Yeah, everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Yeah, everything's gonna be alright. No woman, no cry. Woman, no cry. No woman, no cry. Say, hey, naughty, no woman, no cry. Whew. Thank you. Thank goodness. Again with the buttons. Oh yeah, let me take it off of myself there. But thank y'all. Thank y'all for that. It's fun, 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 fun.
It's very nice.
Well done.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I've been doing that one a little more upbeat like that. I feel it has a little more energy, you know.
You're pretty good with that looper over there.
Thank you, thank you. It's practice.
Yeah, I bet. I bet.
It's well, you know, my
You
band
make
is
it look easy.
is pretty large, so like I got used to and like very spoiled in that, and like, and then being a bass player, it's like really tough to like find other bass players. I always tell people if you're a bass player, you always have a job, like you always have a gig. Like back when we were playing, I was always handing off gigs because it was just like, well, no, I can't do it. But it was just, you know, everyone needs a bass player, and then even bass players too, because there's times where I do stuff like this, or I'll play keyboards and sing, and so I had a bass player, but he's up in Santa Fe, and he's very busy. So it was like, and then doing the acoustic stuff, I was just kind of more like I wanted a little bit more. Like once I started getting better with the looping, and I was like, I need bass, and so I was like, and now octave pedals and stuff are really, and I've even actually used this octave pedal with my bass, so it's really nice. Like I can double and stuff. So like, you know, it's just but practice. A lot of times it's just sitting around and just working on it. You know what I mean? Making sure to just get fast with it in a way. Like I felt I was a little laggy there at the beginning because dragging ass to get started. Like I was, oh yeah, I'm supposed to play a song.
That's okay.
Oh yeah, let me get my guitar in here.
You're
Here
amongst
we
friends.
go.
It's fine.
You know, that's, and it is the stream, so it's kind of like, you know, it's cool. But yeah, I'll make sure to be ready for the next one. And I was already thinking too of what I'll play next too, because a lot of times too, I'll smoke a little and I just kind of chill, and then I'm like, oh, it's my turn. What am I gonna play? Oh shit! And
It's
then
an
I-
honest mistake.
and it is kind of like live when you're playing live, when you go in and you got time and you're just like, what am I gonna play next? Like I don't want to play that one yet because that's a good one. I want to save that one for like a little bit later. But with this, with 3 songs, it's kind of like I try to just, you know, like roll with it. I so far I haven't repeated a song, but I'm in a new season, so now I'm kind of like I'm allowed to repeat a song now because it's a different season.
Right.
I'm calling this season 2, so like I was like, if I have to repeat, but I've been trying with the songbook too to just kind of get out the songs, because there's times where like I'll learn a song and then you don't play it, and then you try to do it, and then you're like, oh, I should really practice that one before I present that one to the public.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? You're like, that one did not go as good as I thought it was going to go.
Right.
I forgot the bridge. Maybe I should practice that bridge before
We've all been there.
before I
We've all been
stream myself playing. But yeah, but that's the beauty of the stream too, is like you know, you just roll with it. Same thing with what it is like tonight. Like, you know, stuff cuts out. It cuts out. It's once you're rolling. Like you can't really. There's not much you can do about it.
Right.
You know, this is the new live for now. So it is kind of like with live too. You roll with it. You're kind of like, we're gonna take like 5 minutes real quick, and I gotta switch a cable out or something. And like, sometimes it's like that, even in the virtual world. You know, even on the internets. So
Right. With all this sorcery that we have going on over here.
right. Totally. Yeah, I hope the internet never goes out, because everybody would be like, what do I do now? Everybody's all disconnected now. Like,
This is how we stay in touch.
right? Even on this level, like performing like this is really cool, but even just when we get off, we'll go on Facebook and we talk to friends and stuff. So it's
Right.
like, it's like a constant in different formats. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
It's like still hanging out, but just virtually.
right, totally. So yeah, fun. So we got Scarred Jeffries up next, right?
Sure, yeah.
Right? Are you guys ready to play? Or are y'all having a
I
good
think-
time too? See, it's like you
Yeah,
start
no,
getting
I
chilling
think
and you're
we're
like, oh yeah,
ready.
I'm supposed to play a song, huh? Yeah. Oh yeah. We're here to play music. Yeah.
No, I think
Because
we're
sometimes the
ready.
conversation is nice, especially with like people you never really met before.
Right.
We know a lot of the same gente, like I said earlier. So like it's cool to get together. And then Half-A-Shipwreck, I haven't seen you guys in person in like forever. And we got to do when we did the little Zoom thing not too long ago. So that was cool. And we talked about that, how it's nice to like, it's not just hearing a voice, but seeing a face and stuff is always always good. It's like being in person, kind of. It's like the next best thing, you know?
Right. Mm-hmm.
You know, when we started doing this, like I started getting into this because Nosotros was doing stuff. We would get together and kind of chat and to just engage with the fans again. And we would find ourselves a lot of time in the backstage area, just talking to each other before we ever went live to the public, because you can bullshit and like joke around and stuff backstage and be a little more, you know, a little more loose with the behavior and stuff. So like we found ourselves like hanging out backstage more, and then we would go live for like an hour, but be backstage for like 2 hours. You know what I mean? And like just hanging out talking, because we haven't had a chance. Like, you know, half of them are in Santa Fe and half of them live here in Albuquerque. So it's nice. Like, you know, like you guys are in Idaho right now, and you guys are now. Where are you guys about in Albuquerque?
We're kind of over in Corrales.
Oh, okay.
Area.
Cool.
Yeah.
I went there the other day. Like, my brother lives on the west side, so like I go to that area a lot to just kind of see what's happening and stuff. I've never been out to Ex Novo, so I went to go see that, and I went into Corrales and stuff. And but yeah, and I'm in the Heights, like up in like Wantabo, like and clear across
Right,
town
the
from
other
you guys.
side, completely. Yeah, the other
So,
side
like,
of
it's
the city.
we all still get together and make music and stuff, and everybody can be chill and relaxing and stuff. So it's like, you know, comfort of a home. So, but yeah, so I guess so. Let's hand it over. Y'all ready to play?
Yeah, we're ready. You ready?
Okay, we'll hand it. I'm gonna hand it, and then I'm gonna get back, or I may not. I might just stay standing just so I don't mess up again. I always debate that. I'm like, should I just stand the whole time, or should I sit back down and be comfortable? But then I get too comfortable, and I'm like, shit. So, all right, well, we're gonna hand the floor over to Scarred Jeffries, everybody. Here, see with the buttons here.
Hello, everybody. Oh, you're such a generous audience. We're actually gonna do. We play lots of covers, but I think this song is dedicated to Half-A-Shipwreck, because man, do we have a girl crush on them. Hoo-wee. This one's for you guys. I've got a girl crush. Hate to admit it, but I've got a heart rush. It's slowing down. I've got it real bad. On everything she is, that smile and that midnight laugh she's given you now. I wanna taste her lips, yeah, 'cause they taste like you. I wanna drown myself in a bottle of perfume. I want her long blonde hair. I want her magic touch. Yeah, 'cause maybe then you'll want me just as much. I've got a girl crush. Oh, I've got a girl crush. I don't get no sleep. Oh, I don't get no peace thinking about her under your bed sheets, the way that she's whispering, the way that she's pulling you in. Lord knows I've tried. I can't get her off my mind. I wanna taste her lips, Yeah, 'cause they taste like you. I wanna drown myself in a bottle of perfume. I want her long blonde hair. I want her magic touch. Yeah, 'cause maybe then you'll want me just as much. I've got a girl crush. Oh, I've got a girl crush. I've got a girl crush. Hate to admit it, but I've got a heart rush, and it's slowing down. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
That's for the lovely.
That one goes out to Happy
We got
Ship-
all the girl crushes over here, you know.
Yes, Queen. That breakdown. Oh my.
Oh, thank you.
The
Thank you.
keyboards.
Ah, you're too nice.
Hell yeah. Who wrote that one? You said you guys do covers. I do a lot of covers too.
Mhm.
Who wrote that one? Like,
That's Little Big Town.
Little Big Town.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
We
isn't that a
often
country
do.
song?
Yeah. Mhm.
Oh wow.
Everything we end up
it's really
playing
cool
ends
because you
up.
wouldn't think that was a country song at all.
Everything ends up kind of grunge. We kind of fought against it for a while, and our motto is that we start off sad and end angry. So it's just kind of our vibe. So
Don't
No, that
fight
was
that
awesome.
grunge. That's
Right,
my favorite.
right,
That's
it's
one
just-
of my favorite parts of your vibe.
oh, thank you so much. Yeah,
Right.
it's just kind of who we are. So we do a lot of like pop country. We do, mostly 90s and newer, but it all ends up kind of being dark and depressing. With bass, it's hard to not be foreboding, I guess.
I like it with the bass though, because bass is very melodic. Like
Mhm.
it's not just playing bass chords and stuff like that. You can do
Right.
a lot with bass.
Mhm.
Speaking as a bass player, so I give props for that. So let's give a round of applause for the bass. Yeah, for the bass. And bass players.
Bass players.
Like you said, you always have a gig. I highly recommend it. And it's fun. It's to me, growing up, it was always the first thing I heard of the song. So to me, and I actually started as a guitarist and then was like, I bought the tab book for Blood Sugar Sex Magic, Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Uh-huh. Right.
And I learned all the guitar parts and I learned all the bass parts. But after playing I was like, I want to play bass. I want to do bass. And after that, I kind of put the guitar aside and concentrated on bass for a long time. And then it wasn't until older, in my 20s, is when I kind of picked up the guitar again and kind of with piano too, to kind of know how to write for those instruments as a bass player and stuff. But to me, bass has always been just where it's at. You gotta. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad I get to play bass Saturday, so I'm like, yeah. I've been learning some stuff, so I'm like, yeah, I get to play. And then I have this little acoustic bass that I got used at shout out to Music Around for $100, and it's like tiny little Michael Kelly 4-string. So for all these acoustic stuff, it's coming really handy. And I didn't know when I bought it, I didn't know it had a pickup in it. And there was a little volume knob on the inside of the acoustic hole. And I was like, hey, it plugs in. Cool.
Nice.
I bought it just to play on my couch because I was like, dude, this is perfect. It's I'll bust it out a little bit to show you so you can see how small it is. And I was like, because it's not a uke bass. It's not like a ukulele bass. And it's got real strings on it.
Right. Not those rubbery ones.
Yeah. So and I bought it to just chill and play on the couch. I was like, cool, I can learn my bass lines while I still watch my favorite streaming shows. When I got learned some stuff. And then I found out it had I looked at the thing and I was like, it's got an input. And then I was like, oh, there's the volume. All it has is a volume knob. And it was just and then it's really loud too, the preamp, and it's really great. So I was like, score. One of those, like, you go to the music store and you grab something and then you're kind of just walking around it because you don't want to put it down. You're like, if I put this down, someone's going to probably walk by and grab it and take it. So I was like, this is going home with me. And they were like, there's like a little cosmetic cracks or whatever. I was like, I don't care. Like, that thing's already paid itself off like already like 10 times. So like, shout out to Used Instruments. Yeah.
Right.
Cool. So that's our first round, huh? I forget about
I think
that.
so.
Cool. Well, we're gonna chill really quick. I'm gonna bust a little because during this time I've been using, times to slow down for performances and stuff and for businesses. So I've been using this platform as a way to kind of promote some homie businesses and some local small businesses that have helped me along the way and have been supportive of music and stuff. So, and I kind of always switch up the order. So tonight I'm gonna start with our sponsor, Mr. Danny Hart Design, out of right here in Albuquerque. And he makes handcrafted wood jewelry and handcrafted wooden furniture and light fixtures, home decor and stuff like that. And he's a musician as well. He played with the group La Junta out of Santa Fe. If anybody remembers the group La Junta, yeah, he played with La Junta for a long time. Big ups to them.
Oh, that sounds
And
beautiful.
Yeah, he's a really really great woodworker. He does woodwork and stuff. So he was gracious enough to be a sponsor for the show. And so big ups to Mr. Danny. Check him out at DannyHartDesignStudio.com. And if you do, you can actually. I'll be posting these coupons in the comments, but you can, if you enter discount code Xchange, you'll get 15% off your purchase at DannyHartDesignStudio.com. So check it out. Support local,
Absolutely.
But big ups to Danny because we played actually right before all this. My man Johnny Visible at Visible Design. Big ups to him. He does all my graphics and stuff. And he and Danny and myself were actually starting to play out again. Danny plays percussions, and he actually was playing a cajon that he built himself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then he had a little drum. It was like an actual drum set, like a little cajon drum set that he crafted himself, which was really dope. And Johnny and I would switch back and forth between like singing and playing guitar. And Johnny would have his sax, and we both had melodicas and stuff. So it was a fun little project and stuff. But then COVID happened, and so we kind of had to put the brakes on that. But we had one show at Canteen.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so it was really cool. But shout out to Danny. And yeah, so who went first? See, I always forget already. I'm like, oh, is it Half-A-Shipwreck?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, now we're back on track. See, I forget. See?
We haven't forgotten you. Robert's mic just took a doozy, though. Like, he's trying to get his mic back on. Just give him one.
Oh, it's okay.
Oh, but
We
while
can
we're doing
chat.
this- Yeah, chit-chat.
Yeah, we could chat.
Also, Robert, can we get some mood lighting? In the true Half-A-Shipwreck tradition, we were like, let's go one step further.
Right.
Nice.
Ooh.
I should put on my roller skate. I'm gonna put my roller skates on over here at the house.
Yeah, this is like a roller rink. It reminds
It does. It
me.
rises. I like lights. Actually, me and my boy, shout out to Johnny Visible again. We were talking about lights and stuff and just making. Nowadays, you got to get creative with stuff because they sell a lot of really great stuff online, but sometimes you don't have the budget for it. So you got to like look.
There's
at
so
other-
many amazing things I mean, I have a few friends that are just the gearheads, and I know they all had purchased a lot of things right before COVID, and now it's like one man parties with full lights, and
Right.
you got to use
Totally.
those.
That's
We did.
But yeah, we were discussing about that, like having lights and all that. And he turned me on to some affordable lights. And I was like, yeah, like if I play out anytime soon or anything, or maybe for my next stream, actually my lights kind of do some stuff too. I just never play with them. I always forget because I'm like, that's another button I got to push over here. And I'm
Right.
like, I feel like mission control that I'm all like, I got to be pushing buttons and stuff. So I was like, but yeah, so the lights definitely help. They add a nice vibe to that. So are y'all ready or do you need a little more
yes,
time?
indeed.
Okay.
I guess I'll give a little bit before we go into this one. This next tune is called On a Hiding to Nothing. It accompanies the first tune we did, the Sing When You Want To, on a little bit, it's kind of like a digital 45. We did a live cut of these two songs at the Torion Studios in Santa Fe, and that is with the audio engineer Bill Palmer, who we're very fond of. Bill helped us master our first album, and he tracked this live cut we did with our drummer in Santa Fe, and I really like the way that it turned out. On a Hiding to Nothing, here we go. Oh, and for this tune, Robert brought the other bass, the cello, the classy bass. You ready over there with that cello?
I'm ready.
Good, our fans are waiting. I can hear them now.
Got me feeling sideways. Must be this mood. Regret fills up my mind like a big old black balloon. Some clouds have got a silver lining, while most aren't worth defining. Better not let them catch you crying. Best take cover, there's a storm arising. For me, I'm missed by the wildest smiles, and this one could go down in history. Must have an angel on my left hand, another ringing on my right. I've got everything I need, but just can't keep it right. Got me feeling sideways. Must be this season. Life's got a way of showing up with or without reason. Some words are gonna bring you down, but others with the way to go. Better now hold on. Best to let that go. Some serious misery. This kind haunts you through the day and even more relentlessly through the night. I got everything I need, but just can't get it right. Must have an angel on my left hand, another ringing on my right. I got everything I need, but just can't get it right.
Holy smokes, that was good.
Yeah.
That note just fucking carries, man. That was gorgeous, girl.
Thank you, my friends. Thank you, guys. You know, we do hours of covers material, but tonight I brought all originals. I said, why not? We have the moment.
They're gorgeous.
That's cool. We thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
I like that. I've had a few artists do that. Where like, this is a new tune. I've never played this for anybody and stuff. So it's nice. Where I'm like, yeah, I feel special that you're premiering that with us tonight. Like,
Are you familiar with a band called The Gits? They were like a punk band from, I guess, the early 90s.
Yes, I am. I'm very familiar with them. I love them.
You give me as a Pata vibe, so you know.
Thank you.
Rest in peace.
Rest
You
in
know.
peace. You know, it's kind of.
Oh, I love that you know that band. Okay.
I feel like two things come to me when I think about the Gets. One of the first shows that Robert and I ever played, we were in a bigger band called Dandelion Liberation Front. And on our first band tour ever in the whole world, we were just little baby buskers. But we went out on the road and we played a show in Flagstaff at this old haunted hotel called the Monte Vista. And we were underground and we got to play there. And the booker, somebody there said, "You remind me of the Gets." And I thought that was one of the highest compliments ever. And then
Absolutely.
as we're dark and angsty and morbid, I'm how can you say you're a true crime fan? But indeed, a secret about Half-A-Shipwreck is we do get down with a lot of true crime. So it's like Mia comes up an awful lot. Musically
Right.
and
Well, her
culturally.
death was so interesting. There was so many
Terrible.
terrible, but there were so many. I mean, you know how she was found. I mean, in the it's just.
And I've walked right by there a million times. I used to live in Seattle. And
I'm from
I
right
walked
outside.
there.
I'm from Vancouver, Washington, so right up there too. Yeah.
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 that's
Interesting.
cool. And then you mentioned the Monty V. When I used to play with Liquid Cheese, reggae ska group, we played at the Monty V. So
Yeah, the Monty V. I love to call
They,
it that.
they put you up in that hotel room?
yeah, that's like I think they've done that for like
That's cool.
ever, dude. That's
Yeah.
yeah, it's yeah. You gotta give it up for the road, like just
Yeah.
being on the road and the places that you get to experience, good and bad. I like good and bad. It all adds character, you know.
Interesting. That's such an interesting place. As Robert was just mentioning, if you guys haven't been there or been a musician who's played there, it's one of the last things in America, or one of the last places in America that offer you a room, while you're playing a gig there. But it's funny because it's a really beautiful, kind of fancy hotel, but the band has quarters. Like, so you get like the back, like this tiny crap room with all these stickers and bunk beds.
It was
and-
like
Oh wow.
10 feet by 8 feet with
yeah.
bunk beds.
I
and
just
everything.
remember somebody, and at the end of the night, our band partied so hard there were people falling out of their bunk beds.
And then the manager's room was right across the way too.
Yeah, so they can
Was
keep an eye on you.
Right. Yeah.
You got to keep the
Or
shenanigans down.
or party with you, depending.
On the
Nice. I guess it's my turn, huh?
It sure is.
I guess I'm not gonna need that. I think I'm gonna do an original since y'all sharing some original. This is one actually doing guerrilla style busking, just like getting in and out. Cause here it's been like some of the places I've gone to, it's been like that where it's like, okay, I got this opportunity. No one is paying attention. Like I'm gonna get set up and all that before somebody can tell me to get out of here. And yeah, and I've been doing this one a lot. Like I said, I was doing a lot of instrumental. So I started like coming up with my own, and I was like, you know what? And so this one has been one I've been doing regularly every time I busk, but like I'm also going to be doing it, working on arrangement with Nosotros this weekend for the video that we got coming on and stuff. And it's a very traditional style cumbia, and it's not very, it's different than what we kind of used to doing. But to me, I like it because it's just got this old sound. Like I'm not like born and raised in New Mexico, but I don't really play. It's weird when you say like I consider my music New Mexican music because I'm a New Mexican, but it's not like New Mexican music. You know what I mean? They're like, you play norteños and rancheras. I'm like, no, I don't.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because it is a thing. People are like, oh, you're from New Mexico. You play New Mexican music. I'm like, no,
Right.
but we're musicians from New Mexico.
Right.
But
Like, yeah, we don't.
there's plenty of great ones that do play New Mexican music, but we're
And then same
we're
thing
not
with
them,
Latin. Like
unfortunately.
I play in a Latin grade, so I say Latin music, and they just think, well, Latin music, you play New Mexico music, and it's like, no, different.
There's
different
many
Latin.
cultures of Latin,
Yeah,
Latin
like
music. It's a very broad genre.
and especially with cumbia too, because here in New Mexico, a lot of we've adapted cumbia as our music, but it comes from Colombia. It was originated in Colombia. So like I'm used to playing more Colombian style cumbia, and this one is definitely from the rancho. So like I'm gonna share this one with y'all. It's a fun little tune. So sit back, maybe take a drink, take a puff, and dance a little bit. So yeah, check it out. Let me push all the buttons here, and let's do this. Yeah. A little bit of cumbia for y'all out there.
Nice job. Nice job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Really cool. Girl.
That was a little jam that came out of the whole busking thing that I was like, I would kind of do it as my sound check. I just kind of start and then was like, developed the head for it and was like, that kind of, I like that. And I was like,
It puts you in a happy vibe.
right. That's what my friend said. It's like a happy little cumbia. And I was like, that's kind of cool. Like, I got to come up with a name that appropriately goes with it and then start working on maybe recording that one just because, yeah, it's just one of those where I'm like, yeah, you know, I'd like to do something with that. But thanks.
Absolutely.
Nice. And we thank y'all for tuning in, sticking around, and being with us tonight. Big ups to Half-A-Shipwreck and Scarred Jeffries, y'all. A little round of applause.
Aw.
If you're just joining us tonight, we thank y'all. And let's see. Who's up next in the rotation on the carousel? It's Jeffries, right?
I
Scarred
think
Jeffries.
it's us, yeah. I know
Nice.
it's backwards.
Well, I'm trying to like remember too because I was like, and yeah, that's right. Yeah. So we're gonna hand it over to Scott. Jeff, y'all got another song, right?
Yeah, we're ready to go.
Cool. Well, then we will waste no time. I think we'll get into some comments here in a minute because we do have some people tuning in, but we'll hear another song. Just because sometimes I feel like, you know, I smoke and then I get all chatty and then I'm like,
I'm a
so-
chatty
and
cat
then
when I smoke.
I've had people like, play more music. And I'm like, yeah, but we're having a good time. Like we're talking and we're like chatting and like, you know, don't rush it. Like, you know, it's like when taking a break at a show, you know, and when are you going to go back on? Like, give me a minute. I just,
Right. It's supposed to be fun, right?
Right. I'm like, give me a second. I gotta go pee. I gotta wash my hands. I can't.
For the whole
just-
happy birthday song.
Right. Like I can't just get on stage. Like I don't, you know. So yeah, we're gonna hand it over to Scar. Oh wait, to Scarred Jeffries. Everybody, give him a round of applause.
So I think. So this next one is actually going to be an original. You guys are all doing originals, so we thought we would do one as well. It's called "Let It Sink." When my walls are crumbling and baby I just can't seem to keep from trembling. Well, you help me grow and somehow you always know exactly how to save me from myself. Oh, this ship we're on, let it sink. Yeah. And man, I could really use a drink. Won't you pull me up from beneath, yeah, and make a little magic with me. When my skin is crawling in sin, oh baby, you come along and soothe my aching soul. When the dark's closing in and my fight is just beginning, oh, you stand by my side every time, time and time again. Oh, this ship we're on, let it sink. And I could really use a drink. Whoa, won't you pour me up from beneath now, darling? And make a little magic with me. When life's at best a sad song, and all is going wrong, you and me, babe, we still stand strong. You are where I belong. Oh, this ship we're on, let it sail. Yeah. And man, I could really use a drink. Won't you pour me up from beneath? Yeah. Make a little magic with me. Your embrace is the only safe place. Oh, yeah. And with you I am genuinely sane. Come on and pull me up from beneath now, darling, yeah. And make a little magic with me. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah, one more time.
Oh.
One more time. That's the thing. I
Too
could
kind,
control it.
everybody.
I could give everybody a double round of applause. Plus, it's
I
like,
like it.
it's on a loop too. So if I don't,
And
turn
there's
it off-
no booze. There's no booze.
Right.
Rotten fruit, or
It's getting
No, we actually
severe.
recorded that at Red Gorilla Studios recently, and we're in the process of editing a little music video to go along with it. So that should be coming out pretty soon. And you can actually, I mean, it's not technically released yet, but you can purchase it directly from Red Gorilla Studios. So if anyone's so
Right.
inclined,
They
it's like
help.
$1. We put way more than $1 worth of work in it too. So
Done.
it's,
Worth way more than that.
way more than $1. So
That was
No, totally. Shout out to Red Gorilla Studios. I got to do a stream there.
oh, they're wonderful folks.
Yeah, really great
Wonderful
people.
folks.
Really great spot too. I
it's
actually
gorgeous.
have whatchamacallit? On the 22nd of April, it was originally booked as me solo, but I just got we're going to do a Nosotros quartet or like
Oh,
quintet.
that's fantastic.
Yeah, we're going to do like
We'll
what we do in the
definitely tune
videos.
in.
And yeah, I switched it to that. I asked the guys if they wanted to do it, and they were like, "Yeah." I was like, the stage is big. They got everything.
Yeah,
Nice.
and they got this like fog machines, and the
Right.
the
And
crew
then
over there is just
you have stuff
fantastic.
too,
I
and then they
mean,
put it on
the
YouTube
sound's
and all that.
great.
Right,
Mhm.
the quality. So to me, it was like it's a great thing to have for promo. Like if you want to show people, you can
Yes,
save it to your
yes.
playlist for your
Yes.
YouTube and stuff, and people can go there and watch it. And like
They
that's
do
one
such
thing
a
I
high
dug about.
quality performance.
Right, that's what I dug
Yeah.
about mine when I got to do mine solo acoustic. Was that it was like afterwards I went and watched it on YouTube, and I was like, this looks really good. I was like, I should send. I'm like, if people ask if they want to see me, I'm gonna just send them that and be like, here, watch this. And it'll
Right?
give them
No,
some more
it's a
views.
fantastic way
But
to.
it's a really great looking video. It's a great sounding video, and
Mhm.
you know what I mean? It's an easy setup too, as far as that, because they have sound and everything. So it was just
Right, and they do like. I mean, they've had done so many shows. At least 3 a week, I think, since COVID hit.
right.
And it's totally. I
Thursdays
mean, it's
through-
totally free. I mean, it's free to watch. It's free to play. I mean, they're just really keeping live music alive over there, and it's, and I
Right.
mean, fellas like yourself as well. I mean, it's if it wasn't for things like this and for, people like contributing so much of their time. I mean, I know artists in general have been kind of left out of the mix and the COVID stuff. So it's a nice way to, keep us all afloat
We're
here
left to
and
kind of
moving.
fend for ourselves. And so
right.
good that
And
we
band together and, community.
Totally banding together. That's really nice.
Speaking of Red Gorilla, we're actually, we are doing we're calling it Scarred Jeffries Presents, but it's a Chicago, the musical, like kind of little tribute deal. So we have a live band, we have dancers, we have burlesque, we have drag, and live singers, and it's going to be streaming from Red Gorilla in August sometime. So we'll be keeping people up to date on that. But it's going to be excerpts from musical Chicago and lots of feathers and sequins and tassels, hopefully.
I can hardly contain myself.
We're so excited.
I can hardly contain myself. It's like the thought of what you're saying. I can't wait.
It's so exciting. I wish you were here to join us for it. I mean, to be in it,
I'll be at least streaming.
It's going to be so fun.
Right.
Maybe all of Rocky Horror once.
That's amazing.
Nice.
See, you guys are a perfect fit. Well, hopefully this is the first of many Scarred Jeffries Presents, so maybe there'll be more in the future.
Right. I was going to say you could do it again when these guys come back to New Mexico, and then
it would be.
Absolutely. I'm feeling a show. We got to do something.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be dope. If you need help with anything, let me know. I would like to be down to do some back end stuff on that.
That would be great. Thank you.
Just to help put it on and stuff, because that's always. I'm a big fan. Like my wife and I watched. What did you just say? Oh, Chicago. She'd never seen Chicago, and then
that's so
Rocky Horror. So like I was like, oh, you got to see, because we had watched it. The new one, and then I was like, oh, you got to watch the OG It with Tim Curry, and then going down the rabbit hole of who Tim Curry is and stuff like that. So I was like, oh,
and that's a big rabbit hole.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, and then because we like to do that, we'll put on movies and stuff, and then we Google shit, and we're like, where's this guy now? Oh, look at this dude, and he aged very well. He's very handsome, and look at this guy here, and like, oh my God, look at this. Time was not kind to this guy, and like, stuff like that. When you find out, you're like, oh, I had no idea, or like, this dude's a big producer now, and he's behind the scenes, and you just do stuff. And then Tim Curry too is one that has got sick, so it was kind of like, oh, this is what he had done. And that song, that one musically too, like, because my uncle turned me on to that when I was a kid, and I just remember the songs. And then same thing with when you said Chicago, I love John C. Reilly.
Yes.
In there, and what's his song?
Mr. Cellophane. Yeah. And actually, Donnie is singing Mr. Cellophane. And
it's such a great. See, John C. Reilly,
this fella right here.
He's so underrated as far as like everyone thinks that he's just like comedy, and you see Step Brothers and stuff, but his range is amazing.
Like Walk Hard. I mean, it was very funny, but the music is insane. His singing range is it's massive.
He sang in Chicago too, so it was really cool. Like, because a friend of mine turned me on to Chicago, and I was like, I did not know. And that whole scene of that was, I was like, dude, that's.
And it's such a heart-wrenching song too,
Right. The movie in general, I wasn't expecting it to be what it was, and I was like, this is actually really good. Like,
it's pretty hardcore for a musical. Like, I mean, it's about female killers and prison.
And then I saw something else where they made a reference about it was all lip shits, and I was like, I know that reference. I was like, I know what that's from. We are doing that one. Right? And I was like, so now that kind of stuff where you get references, we're like, yeah, I know.
Right.
I'm cultured. I know musicals. Like,
I'm cultured.
Yeah, so that's dope. That's really dope. See, this is cool.
We're so excited. It's a lot of work, but we're really excited.
Nice. And who else do you guys have working besides Red Gorilla?
We have about a 20-person troupe. So we had to break down. I mean, because obviously we don't have a full orchestra, and we're trying to keep things kind of smaller for COVID. I would like to have 87 dancers, but I can't have 87 dancers. So, but at this point, we have actually my friend Dio, the home that we're using. He's going to be singing Razzle Dazzle, and then we have Brad Howard. He's one of the dolls, and he's doing he'll be his drag self. I
know Brad. Brad's from Las Cruces. Yeah, me and Brad. I grew up.
He's doing the I guess the warden part in drag. Cool. It's gonna be fantastic.
Perfect. I love you, Brad. Shout out to Brad Howard.
Yeah,
I see him
shout out to Brad.
Like one of the last times I played at Boise back when we were still playing, he would stop by and stuff. So, but yeah, that's awesome. That is really cool. So definitely share that, blast that. Will help promote that.
I will. There'll be more coming out in a few months. We're kind of in the beginning stages, but yeah, we're so excited to debut it and share it with everyone.
Right. And then you got to do another one and get Half-A-Shipwreck on it.
Absolutely right.
Shoot, watch out, Easter, Jesus Christ Superstar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
2022.
Yes.
I wish. I hope so.
Oh,
That would be dope. That would be dope. For sure, link up when you guys are coming back. When do you plan? Do you plan on coming back to New Mexico anytime soon?
Like 3.5, 4 weeks.
Yes, actually, around mid-April we'll be popping back in there
nice.
for a little
I'm
bit.
assuming you're going to be busking while you're here. You should let us know where you're going to be at, and we will come see you. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Right. If you need any spots too, I'll let you know.
Yeah, you know, we have actually we've played plenty in Santa Fe, but we have only played one time in Albuquerque as busking. So I'd love to know where your favorite spots are.
Yeah, I'll turn you on. We can chat about that privately because the secret, you can't get out the secrets. It's hush hush, very hush hush. Agent Orange, very hush hush stuff. Cool. Well, we're gonna hand the stage over to Half-A-Shipwreck. Y'all got a song? This is our last round, huh?
I think it is. Yeah.
Well,
Number
actually,
3.
yeah, it is. So you'll be starting next. I'm gonna do a little. We gotta say hi from our sponsors real quick before we go into this next song. And then we're gonna hear one. I kind of hope. I don't want to request because I want y'all to play whatever you want to play. But there's one like I kind of hoping
Ooh,
to
I
hear.
hope it's the one we rehearsed.
Okay. Cool.
I know what one he wants. We're doing it, Rachel.
Well, no, not kids. The new one. The new one that I heard. That I was like,
Neil Young. Or no, the new artist.
yeah, new one. That's. What, but I want to say, I'm like, you do what you want to do, but
I did see that you guys did an Aaliyah cover on one of your when I was stalking you. Well, and I mean, being named Aaliyah, I have fun affiliation.
Right.
For
That was the first thing I thought of. I was like,
no one covers Aaliyah. It's great.
That's awesome.
Right
Right on. Well, our sponsor tonight, our second sponsor, comes to us from where I'm from originally, where I grew up with Brad. Actually, Brad Howard grew up down the street, and his younger sister, Christy Howard, and myself and our buddy Mondo Camacho were all good friends. And
That's
he was
amazing.
like, yeah. So I've known
everyone
Brad
knows Brad. He's a
for a
magical
long time.
human.
Yeah,
They're
and
a
it's a
magical
good to
human.
see him like still doing because he was very creative back in cruises. We were in ISP, an Independent Study Program English class together and stuff. So it was all about writing and art and music and stuff like that. So it was really great. Like I'm really happy for everybody that I went to school with that still pursued the arts and everything and what didn't eventually give it up because a lot of people do. And it's like, no, you got, especially when they're really great at it. Brad is always,
He's so talented.
His chastity belt and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's so
Chastity
great.
belt off is so good.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so this sponsor comes to us from Crucis, and it's Hubbard's Music and More. And they've always been they've supported nosotros since day one. And any endeavor they've, throughout the surrounding areas and states, anybody that's ever come through has done business with them. Anything they, doing backline. If you needed something replaced, last minute, Hubbard's was a place to go. And yeah, so they're just like home. They've always been supportive of the music scene, and so they were gracious enough to sponsor us. And if you're down in Crucis, or if you ever make your way through Crucis and you need something for your musical needs, go check them out. Go say hi to Drew, Thomas, and everybody down there.
Muted.
And yeah, check it out. And they're actually offering a coupon as well. We got 20% off. And like I said, I'll be putting the coupons in the comments because right now it's not going to allow me to do that. So I will definitely do that. So this way, if you want to, you can just download it and take it in and get yourself 20% off. Get you a little something if you need something. As a musician, you always justify
You
something.
always need something.
Right, you go in and you're like, I didn't mean to buy this, but I said it was $10. You're like, it's just $10.
That's
What
one
am I
thing
gonna
that's
do?
convenient about being your husband and your partner also being a musician is we never argue over buying gear ever.
Right, you're like,
Ever.
yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yes, you
Especially-
need another guitar. Of course you do.
Right. I bought a couple used cables that were like $5-10. It was the same thing. I was like, they're $5-10. Like, what am I gonna do? Not buy them?
You
What am
can't
I,
have Too many
crazy?
cables.
Right. Yeah. I was like, 'cause I had to replace them. They were shorter too. And I was like, I need some shorter cables. And I was like, What am I crazy? Just gonna pass this deal up? Come on. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so it was just like, I had to. What do you mean? It's like, yeah, of course, you know. So yeah, big ups to local music stores that keep musicians like us going, you know. So, but now we're gonna hand it over to Half-A-Shipwreck, and we're gonna get into round 3. And yeah, give it up for Half-A-Shipwreck, y'all. All the way from Idaho. Well, tonight from Idaho.
Yes, tonight. From Garden Valley, all the way from Garden Valley, Idaho. We're gonna close it with a song from our first album, and the title track. It is called Haunted, off of our album, which is called To Come Across It Left Me Haunted.
The hills. We were calling even louder than the car. It was out the leaves, right back to me. Every feather was a sigh. Well, maybe, perhaps not. Every candle was a wish that was burning, and I'm thankful we were called even louder than the car. Hey, hey. Feathers floating in the leaves, they were falling. Hey, and it was howling right on back to me. Cold dark winter in a cold dark shack.
Woo. Yeah.
Yes.
One more time.
You guys are so good.
Thank you, guys.
You're so good.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Ditto,
You
right
guys
back
too.
at you.
I love that you
powerful.
guys are like haunting and dark and like ominous and all my favorite things.
The same exact thing about you guys.
Oh, it's not it's refreshing because we're often not folks' cups of tea. So it's nice to
Right.
find
I
your
love-
tribe
I
or
love
whatnot,
your
you know.
grunge roots. Yeah.
Or you know, maybe.
I wish I sounded grunge. I just sound like a hillbilly.
Hillbilly.
I
I
don't,
was like, you know, usually when you see a female singer show up, you know, in up to all the beautiful birds out there, you know, the lovely singing birds, you don't usually see a lady up with the microphone and embrace yourself for that. "Ah!" You know,
right, the
dark
gravel and the
power
grit.
that's coming. Yes, and
Yeah.
so when I found you guys, I was like, oh, a woman after my own heart.
I know, said the
Finally,
exact same thing. I said the
finally.
same thing about you.
Finally. Yeah.
Thanks,
awesome.
thanks, Gail, for bringing us together.
You're welcome. See, it's kind of weird. Like I just smoke and make music, and it just works. It works
and make
itself.
magic happen.
And it works itself out because a lot of the shows that I've put together have all just worked themselves out like that, where I put the people together and there's just some kind of closeness. Like I kind of have a theme to everything of like how we met and stuff. Like I said with you guys, like I've known the name and I've seen the videos and stuff, and then with them I actually met them in person, but then pairing it because it was just like, well, they're couples and they both make music, and the arrangements is it's not your typical like just acoustic guitar
Right.
and singing kind of duo, you know what I mean, that you see. So it's like, to me, I was like, it's kind of a perfect fit, and then I just let it play out. Like it just wasn't, I didn't try not to put too much thought into it. It was just more like, it seems natural. Like, you know what I mean? If I was
Totally.
a promoter, like this would be a good show live. Like honestly, like if you could set it up where
I love the.
Oh,
it's like
gonna
you share
happen.
the stage and then you can do
gonna
back and forth kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Because you guys use just bass and vocals, and then you have they have their stuff where you can kind of still set up, and both bands could just trade off like a set.
Absolutely.
And like it's still, and the music and everything is still a really great vibe. Because to me, like I play a lot of covers, so to me I like that, and I like the approach that everybody does. So to me it was
Oh, thanks.
it's cool with that. So I'm kind of like that's more what's important is creating that vibe. Like if you're gonna do a show, do that. That's
Right,
the set.
right.
And
Better
so
bring it.
and so it's really cool. And like you guys, like it's really, that's why I'm like, well, I feel kind of, I can fit in because I got my looper, so I'm like, I'm not alone. And so like it's cool, but like I wanted, to me this would be something I would see. Like if I was out, I would go and like hang
But
out.
you better come to our show.
Oh no, yeah, definitely. But you know what I mean? So to me, like it was just more like that, where it's like
We'll
I said, I don't
dedicate
even
it to
want
you.
I even thought about doing that, of like taking the third slot and taking me out of it and just hosting. But I'm like, I like to play it, keeps the chops up and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's really
We like
cool.
to hear you.
And like, so thank you. I appreciate that. And you know, but it's nice because it is inspiring of that, where it's like when I do play out with people, what you can do with just two people a lot of times. Where it's like
Right.
you're creative with stuff. You know what I mean? And then I said, and I love that it's like bass. There's like bass represented in it, because a lot of times that gets left out. That's why I think with my looper I put in the octave, because it just sounded thin with just guitar, and it's nice to have that weight, like the full balance.
There's
of-
something that bass offers that you just can't.
right.
can't get
You
without
can
it.
make chords. You make chords. You can do all kinds of stuff with it. You know what I mean? And I play 5-string, but I've been wanting to get a
Right.
4-string. That's why I played my acoustic
Bringing
one. 'Cause
booty
it's-
back.
Yeah, no, it's okay. You can't. To me, it's has more weight. Like even when we've done stuff, and it was like, oh, guitars, and then once I got my acoustic bass, it was like, yeah, that helps drive. Like even when we're doing the Nosotros music in the park, I actually got myself an electric like battery, like a generator, so I can power my amp, because like it's battery operated, but I felt like the AA batteries wasn't enough juice. So I was like, now, because I had to like make it 15 watt instead of 30 watt. Like it has like an energy saver. So now I don't have to use the energy saver. I can go 30 watts and it handles the bass way better. And like, I'm like, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Because like when live too, everybody's like, can you turn up? And I'm like, I can, but I don't think it's gonna do anything. Like, you know what I mean? It might start to distort. And now, like, I don't have that problem because I have the power there to push it and stuff. And it feels like it feels right with it. So it's kind of like bass, you know. It's got to be represented. So
Right.
definitely, it's not like, you know what I mean? Because I've seen some stuff. I've actually seen there's more groups that are like bass and drums and stuff like that. Because you've heard like the White Stripes and it's just
Right.
drums. And I'm like, yeah, but
And,
you still need
Royal Blood too is
Right.
bass and drums and the bass player sings.
right. You see, that sounds thicker. It sounds way
Yeah.
fuller. It's got way more weight to it because the bass. You know what I mean? So like,
It's hard to ignore a bass.
right. Yeah, no, totally. We can go on about, but we can talk about how
Right, the
Justice
presence.
for All and Justice for All didn't have no bass. So no. We could talk bass all day,
All
different
night.
ways, different ways. Go down rabbit holes. Yeah. So no, just kidding. I'm next, huh? Shit. See,
It's
I
all
think
you,
I was
man.
just trying to distract the little song. Maybe they'll forget. All right. So no, I'm gonna do one right here now. Just one kind of speaking of doing different styles, and I like to challenge myself in a way. So I'm gonna do this one here. This is kind of it's a familiar tune, but I'm gonna do it the way I know how to do it. I guess this is the way I know how to do it. The way I feel it in a way. classic song right here. Gonna take it way back, you know. Move it out. So check it out. Take this one way back, you know. Take a little drink of water before I sing. It's got to kill the cotton mouth. You know, gotta make sure I'm hydrated, you know. Sing it. There is a house in New Orleans. They go the rising sun. It's been a ruin of many poor boy, and Lord knows I am one. My mother was a tailor. She sewed my new blue jeans. My father was a gambling man way down in New Orleans. Now the only thing a gambler needs is a suitcase and a trunk. And the only time he's satisfied is when he's good and drunk. Mother, tell your children not to do what I have done. Spend your life in sin and misery in the house of the rising sun. Well, I got one foot on the platform, the other foot on the train. Am I going back to New Orleans to wear that ball and chain? Well, there is a house in New Orleans that they call the rising sun. Ooh, yeah, little something there. Thank you. Ooh, let me get back to the crowd.
Very, very nice.
Thank you. Little Eric Burden and the Animals, right? Right, yeah.
Yes, Selecta.
So yeah, that one I like to do a little funky, little this, little that. You know.
Love that arrangement. That was awesome.
Yeah, it's very funky and groovy, and
Thank you. You know, I appreciate that. I like, with the looper, I want to be upbeat as like a single artist. I want to be as upbeat as possible.
you're like a one-man band.
And well, trying to be so, and I want it to be, since it is the looper and it is kind of repetitive, I want it to have the feel of an arrangement and stuff. Like I said, like used to playing with a band, you could just easily go places and stuff. And it's been interesting because with Nosotros, the stuff we're doing, I'm singing and playing bass, and that has just been like the hardest thing ever. And then singing in Spanish, so I'm like, shit, like this has been so playing guitar,
No pressure.
it's like cool. I have a lot of fun with this because I feel it is a little bit more low pressure, and then I could do a bit more. There's more freedom to it and stuff like that. So it does have its perks with that. But I try to. It's being with Nosotros, we're a lively dance band, so I want my music to transfer kind of that over here. So I've been working at arrangements of that where like I don't want it to necessarily be so, because I don't ever, even as like as a bass player, sometimes I don't use a lot of open notes. I like to be more on the fret, like I can control a little bit more. So like I don't play a lot of like strum chords, like A minor for most there. I'm always here or down here, and so yeah, to me I like to be more on the fret, like unless like for bass, of course, if it calls for more of like open, I'll hit the open string more, but a lot of times I like to be more on the fret. So it's like
that staccato sort of dance vibe.
Yeah, so it's like, and it's like E for me instead of here. I was like, I'm more.
And not too shabby on that guitar work.
Oh,
Right. Yeah.
I actually give a lot of that credit to Nosotros with that, because it was a flamenco group at first, and so very guitar oriented. So when I first moved up here, I was their sound engineer. I lived on the couch for the first like couple of months, and I just everyone would just did music. So like I had access to two guitarists that were constantly practicing and learning new stuff. So I just would do the same. I would just kind of stand around and like shadow them and stuff. So I kind of give a lot of my playing to the people I've surrounded myself with, of that, of like just paying attention to me, you know what I mean? And stuff like that. So it was like, it really helped me with stuff like that. That's where I get into that. Cause that group too, one person would play more of the open style and one person playing more here, or like there's a lot of different positions. So it's like that kind of stuff, the stacking. So when it comes to my looping, I kind of approach it the same way and stuff. So it's that where I want to kind of have it like that, so people kind of hear it and it's not just more of me by myself. Like I feel like there's a lot of that going on already, and I'm like, I want to do more of this. And like I said, I miss my band, so I'm like, I do want it to sound like a band. I want it to be like, you know what I mean?
You could start a salsa party in the street or something.
And I thought about doing that. We're getting like a kick drum and all that, but I don't have the coordination. So
that's a lot to, yeah.
Yeah.
So you got to hand it to Half-A-Shipwreck down there with all your contraptions.
So when they did that version,
Schizophrenia over here.
it was.
It's
Yeah, no, he gets down because he's doing.
He makes
a lot
it
of stuff.
seem easy, but I'm sure it's not easy.
And when they did that kids, the MGMT, when I saw him, what amazed me is that they had these little bells and he was doing that melody, boom, 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 ba-da, and he's hitting on the bell as he's doing everything else. And I was like,
it's fun.
I was like, whoa, dude, like, that's
He's like, no big deal.
I was like, yo, you're playing that on a kid, and there's little kids. They were like little kitty. They look like little kids.
Yes, they're
bells.
Yeah, they're vintage bells. I feel like those bells are like one of our secret weapons.
Right.
Amazing.
And it's dude, like they're in
Don't
key
see
and
them
everything.
coming.
Magic bells.
And I was like, dude, that is so dope. The tone of it and everything too, because it's organic, and you're like, whoa, like
And unique, I'm sure. I mean, because,
Well,
not a
next
whole
time-
lot of folks use bells. So
For sure.
Well,
the
you
next
know.
time we do this, we'll do a bell song. Next time we come on the Xchange, we'll come heavy
Bring the
with
bells.
you gotta bust them out for sure. And then what was it too? Oh, like because there's the subtleties with that, like with the bells of like a tambourine. There's certain same thing with like playing with nosotros in the Latin percussion, like the guida and the guido. Those little auxiliary percussions can be really loud and obnoxious if not played correctly
right.
and like subtly and stuff like that. So there's that whole knowing that of like hearing, because like most people would look at those bells and be like bing bing and make all kinds of noise, and it would be very annoying. But in the right hands, you're like, oh shit, that's really dope. Like, like it's like an instrument. Like,
Here, I usually feel really annoying with them.
no, because it falls right
You
in and
guys aren't
stuff.
annoying at all.
Because we've had that sometimes in playing in a Latin group, people will come up and the bell or like a shaker is like, can I see that? And they pick it up and they want to, and it's like shh, all over the place. And you're like, please stop. Like, please at least be on time if you're going to do that. Like, and so that kind of stuff where like it takes practice. You can't just grab something and be like, look, it's me. I'm doing this. It's no, like there's subtlety. So you've definitely, you guys got it down with that, like everything about it. Yeah.
I don't know. I always want to say this. I didn't even start playing music till I was in my 40s. This is all new to me. This isn't like.
You would never be able to tell. I mean,
Right, no, not
you're
at
a
all.
natural. You're a complete natural.
Totally. I think you waiting so long gave you that ability to be able to multitask. Because I played music for a long time and I'm like afraid to try that of like getting a kick drum and just being all boom, boom.
It's intimidating. We've thought
Yeah,
about
like,
doing like a double kick thing with the drum, and
Right.
we always talk about it. And we just
I
don't do
think
it. We just don't do it.
Johnny, I just, if I could say one thing, playing bass is fun, but playing drums and bass at the same time is 10 times as much fun.
And you do that too. See, and me as a bass player, it's good to have that one, like bass and drums is like, yeah. And then you're over here doing both. It's like, damn, dude, like it makes me, I'm like, oh.
It just
like,
takes a
I
minute
feel
to
like-
split your mind. It doesn't take more than 10 hours. You get it done.
It's like you go cross-eyed, you
Yeah,
you
you go a little cross-eyed at first, but
gotta pay attention. Because I've done doing stuff like that, playing congas and clave and stuff like that. And it is where your like eyes go bing because you're trying to like pay attention to two. You're just like, okay, do this, now do this. And like don't like run into each other or train wreck. You know what I mean? Because it's easy to, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, you start tripping. But like once you get in that groove, you're like, oh, it's so sweet. I'm right there. That's like the pocket and the spot. And you're just like, but to get it every time, you got to work at it because it is that. You're like, I got to.
if you start playing drums at the same time, at first you'll just do, like your normal tap that you can do. But when you can start play against yourself, and play against yourself as if you're two musicians, that's when.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
That's
It doesn't
when
seem
it's
like it's one
really
person
fun.
creating that.
Right.
Yeah.
But also to the contraptions, because I've seen some of the posts you've made of you making the stuff for it, of like, and that's
Well,
another a whole other
what?
thing.
We spent like $500 this year buying 3 different drum pedals by professional
Nice.
companies, and the only one I'll
They
use
all
is the
stink.
one I made out
of
of
course.
bicycles. Yeah.
Right. That's what I was saying earlier. Sometimes you got a guerrilla style and just like the lights that my buddy Johnny V turned me on to are like $15 and they're fluorescent and they're like what you would pay for, but he found them for cheap for like $15 a piece. And he's like, yeah, if you just attach these to some mic stands, they're great. And then we were looking at putting gels on them. And I was like, this is great. And I was like, we saved so much money with it, And so you got to sometimes do that. You have to just rig it yourself and be like, I have to do the work. Even with the stream that I'm doing, I pieced it together with live sound equipment that I have.
That's
I'm just
why we started busking. If you wait for other people to do it for you, it ain't getting done. Like if we
Right.
just sat around waiting for bars to hire us, we'd be on our 4th show.
We'd be unhirable.
We'd be so unhireable.
We were very unhireable for years, and I think
Have you
even
guys busked?
we just.
Have you guys done any busking? Because we have a radio show we'd love to. Have you
Not
all?
really, but we have talked about doing more busking. We've just been doing lots of videos and stuff, but unfortunately, we don't have very good streaming, so we have to have like assistance
see
to
that.
stream just because our location isn't very good.
When we go back to New
so.
Mexico, we can't. We're gonna be.
Yeah,
out of
we live up in
business
the
again.
woods. We're very rural, so we have
Oh,
no
I wanted to
internet
say to
speak
both
of.
of you, if you ever have gigs in Santa Fe, we have 3 acres up in, like at the end of the Santa Fe Trail. Come
Don't be a
hang out
stranger.
and
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
spend the night. You're
That'd be
welcome.
great.
You're welcome.
Oh,
You
thank
don't
you,
have to
friends.
drive home to Albuquerque, no way.
That'd be cool.
Yes,
That's nice.
when the world opens up again.
Right? Santa Fe. Good old Santa Fe.
That's awesome.
I used to live in Santa Fe too back in the day, but I got family here in Albuquerque, so I like them both though. I spend a lot of time in Santa Fe when I can. That's awesome. So that's where you guys, when you come back to New Mexico, you go to Santa Fe.
Yeah, we have kind of a shack up there, just up there in the neighborhood with all the other people with shacks. Hang out.
Right. It's nice. It's beautiful. Actually, that's my little, like, whenever I go for cruises, if I got to kill some time and I'm like, I'll just do a little smoke and I'll take a little cruise out there and just kind of chill, and you can get out and just kind of,
Yeah.
look about all the beautiful forestry and stuff and all the landscape and everything. Santa Fe is beautiful like that.
Agreed.
But yeah. So who's next? See, I forget again.
There's only one song left.
Oh, it's Scarred Jeffries.
It's up.
All right.
This has been so much fun with y'all.
It's so weird because the time goes by pretty quick, and I'm like, are we already there? Okay, cool. I'm not in any rush. Like we can still chat or whatever. I was just making sure I didn't.
Yeah, play a
Because while
20
you guys
song.
play, I gotta I'll get into like a comfortable position, and then I can like set up the ending and all that stuff. That's why I set it up, because I used to close it and then I'd have to like come over here, and I'm like, no, have somebody else close it, and then you can kind of
You need more hands.
take your time. And I've thought about it, like, of wanting to have some help as far as that production wise, just because there is a lot of buttons and stuff like that too.
Right.
And like I said, sometimes, nowadays smoke is really good, so it doesn't take much. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to do this. Like earlier when we started, I was muted and I was like talking all happy to myself. Yeah, how's it going? And I'm like, why isn't anybody saying anything? Like, I was like, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing?
Oh, the song.
Oh, and I'm like, oh shit. Click. Okay, now y'all can hear me. I was like, great. So, it's the streaming. It's one of those things, like kind of like with the busking and the building your own instruments and stuff like that, where it's a new thing you got to learn. Like all this stuff, everything that we do is like learning experience for us.
We gotta fake it until you make it.
Right. Absolutely. We fake it more than not usually.
Yeah.
Right.
Precisely.
You got to kind of dabble in everything. Like you got to do that. You know what I mean? Because
Sometimes the best things come out of the unknown, I guess, or treading the fearful paths or whatnot.
but it's fun. And now I guess is that we got some time to do it. So you might as well use the time usefully, and be like, well, I'm going to use it on music and my art. Might as well. You only come out better in the end for it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you'll have more videos too. You know what I mean? So that's always,
Right.
that's a good thing. As an artist, you can never have too much like representation
Right.
of yourself. Because even when you like try to book at places and they're like, would you have something? Yeah, here, check all this stuff out. Yeah, but
Do you have anything else?
yeah, you got anything else?
Like,
And
I
you're
already
like,
sent you 47 videos.
right? Like but like,
What else? What are you looking for?
you don't do anything different than that. You're like,
Yeah.
what were you expecting? Like all of a sudden, I send you a different video, and you're like, that's what I was looking for. I was waiting for you to play that song.
Right.
Then I'll hire you. And you're
We
like,
actually started calling ourselves a concept cover project as opposed to a cover band because we felt like it was misleading when people would try to hire us, because when you think cover band, you think dance band and Mustang Sally and Sweet Home Alabama and all lots of those things, which we don't play
Right.
any of. And so I felt like it was a disservice to both us and the folks that were trying to hire us to assume we were like so we had to kind of change how we were labeling things.
Yeah, no, you do have to like kind of think about that, how you promote yourself in that sense, because of that. Like, well, what am I? Because there's all kinds of stuff that you fall under, you know what I mean? And it's just like, yeah, but I want it to be more accurate than just
cover band.
Yeah, than just cover.
Mhm.
band. And so that's really cool concept because then it is yours. You're like we're the only concept cover band
Right.
in Albuquerque or New Mexico.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's nobody else doing what we're doing.
Yeah, I
And
felt like
so-
it gave it a little more specification, maybe.
Right, yeah. And no one else is necessarily going to do that for you.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? There's
Right.
not a lot. You try to book places and then they hire you and then they're just like rock when they'll make a flyer for you and like here and you're like, that's the flyer you made for us? And it just
Right.
rock. And you're like,
They don't
"That's
always
not at all.
present very well.
Right? And you're like,
Yeah.
that doesn't describe us at all. I'm like, we're not, you know, where it's all rock band and you're like, rock duo, maybe?
Rock duo, right?
Is there better? There's a lot of words that you can.
Right. It's hard to, when people say, well, how do you describe yourself? It's like, well, I don't, like, what kind of music do you play? I guess we just started saying like grunge-esque stuff because I don't even know what to say. I'm sure
No,
you
the
know,
concept
Half a
of
Shipwreck
everything.
probably don't either know what to say when people ask you what type of music you play.
Absolutely. You know, especially because we play acoustic instruments.
Mhm.
But I can't say what we do is folk or bluegrass or
No,
anything.
right.
No,
Yeah.
it's very
It
rowdy.
definitely has some punk aspects, and I mean,
Right.
there's a lot, yeah.
I describe it as like foot stomping and rowdy. Like it's
Ah,
very
I
like
that.
Did
like
you guys,
you get it's not, even if the song isn't that necessarily like of a ballad or whatever, it's still it's very powerful and it pushes that where you're very like, you know
Well,
what I mean?
everything
So-
you sing is so like you sound so righteous. I want to follow you into battle or something.
Yes.
did you guys ever play at the Pink Rhino? Is that place
Oh,
still
in
in business?
Albuquerque.
Yeah.
Albuquerque?
Friends of ours own it, actually.
Yeah, she's really nice.
the
Yeah,
The
Dory.
aes-
Yeah.
The aesthetic there is just so beautiful.
Mhm.
I love it there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
Red-
they're still going.
right at the Red Velvet Underground now.
Yeah, it has a
Yeah,
little bit,
mhm.
right? It's the Red Velvet Underground. Wait, at the Pink Rhino?
Right.
Yeah.
The Pink Rhino was like the clothing store, name of the I guess the consignment store that she had. And then she decided to open the club with it, and they have food and drinks, and yeah, it's a very interesting ambiance, and it's wacky, and I mean, she handmade everything in there, so it's just
Yeah,
it's a very interesting venue. Yeah.
I love the aesthetic.
Shout out to Dory and Chris Raven over at Red Velvet
Right.
Underground.
I was gonna say Chris Raven does a lot of the music and stuff out there.
That man.
And brings a lot of the. I've done like when he used to host some open mics, I would go out there and just kind of sit in like.
Mm-hmm.
I like kind of doing stuff like that because I'm a musician, so like I play whatever, and especially as being a bass player, I'm like, yeah, I know that song. Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so people would like because I'll come out and do a couple songs, but then I'll get on bass and kind of like jam out. And they're kind of like, who the hell's this guy? And I'm just like, I just came to play some music, but thanks guys.
Right.
There you go. Like, cool, appreciate it. And like he likes Nosotros stuff and all that stuff. And he's like before COVID and all that, he was everywhere. Like you see that guy.
Oh, Chris Raven was, I mean, he was
Everywhere.
playing 10, 12 shows a week. He's been a professional
Right.
musician for
Right.
decades.
Decades, yeah.
That
he
guy
and
works
that.
hard, sometimes multiple shows a day.
And then the
I don't know how
group
he does
he
it.
had two, like one of them, Euphoria, that we saw him when they were playing at because we used to play there too, the Indian Pueblo Cultural Center, and they were using the little drum pad and all that, and he had the foot pedal and all that stuff in the drummer, and so we've been messing around with the drum pad and all that. But when I saw that, I was like, dude, like we could totally do that. Like, look at these guys are doing rock and all kinds of stuff with it. I'm like let's do it. Like it's a really great way to, instead of having to bring a whole drum set and all that. And then like, so anytime I see it, his shows are always very well controlled volume wise
Yeah.
because
yeah,
of
he
that.
does-
Like
definitely
you
has
have
that
the
down.
little drum pad and then everybody's, and like we've even been doing that more too with Nosotros since we're doing acoustic stuff. Everybody's like going direct instead of
Yeah,
using
you can
amps.
control the volume level of the drums a lot more easily, I think, from a drum pad than from a full kit.
Right. No, totally. Even if you do just bring like kick, snare, and hi-hat, it's like hard and stuff. So it's kind of cool where I saw that and I was like, we could totally do that. Like that's also because now to the drum pads that they make are got really great sounds on them. My drummer got a really, really good one. So he's already got it all set up with the Latin percussion and stuff. And I was like, yeah, dude. And they make foot switches for it too. So like it's having like a hi-hat pedal and a kick pedal.
Uh-huh.
And all that. So it's very like technology is really cool like that now where you're like, wow, it's like we don't have to bring the whole drum set because with the Latin group sometimes we either use a cajon or we use a full drum set. So it's like one or the other, and sometimes you really want that drum set. You're
Right.
like I really want that kick and I want that snare and all that stuff. So it is, and definitely my band is loud. So it was like one of those of like, how can we look at cutting a corner and trimming some fat on that? Like, how can we, because it's always that, like you do stuff and you're like, how can I work on it and make it a little better and stuff in certain ways? Not all the time, I mean, it's not like all of a sudden that's going to be it, but it's like, let's try this.
Yeah.
It's worth a shot. If it doesn't work out, you're like, we don't have to do that again. You're
Right.
like, that was very uncomfortable. Yeah, let's not do that again. Okay, cool. We at least said we tried. So there's a lot of that, as most things, So, but yeah, so we're gonna hand it on over to Scarred Jeffries for one last song. They're gonna.
Ooh.
So
I've been
Let's-
eagerly awaiting.
Aw, you're second up, and I don't mind.
now we can dance. Now I can smoke and dance.
Whew. This one is actually be a little more upbeat, I think. Any Counting Crow fans out there?
Me.
Yeah.
Nice. Sha la 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 la, yeah. Uh-huh. I was down at the New Amsterdam, staring at this yellow-haired girl. Mr. Jones strikes up a conversation with the black-haired flamenco dance. She dances while his father plays guitar. She's suddenly beautiful. We all want something beautiful. Man, I wish I was beautiful. So come dance the silence down through the morning. Sha la 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 la, yeah. Uh-huh, yeah. Cut up, Maria. Show me some of them Spanish dances and pass me a bottle, Mr. Jones. Believe in me. Help me believe in anything, 'cause I wanna be someone who believes. Yeah, Mr. Jones and me tell each other fairy tales. Yeah, we stare at the beautiful women. She's looking at you, nah, she's looking at me, smiling in the bright lights. Coming through in stereo when everybody loves you. You can never be lonely. Well, I wanna paint my picture. Paint myself in blue and red and black and gray. All of the beautiful colors are very, very meaningful. Yeah, well, gray is my favorite color. I felt so symbolic yesterday. If I knew Picasso, I would buy myself a great guitar and play. Mr. Jones and me look into the future. Yeah, we stare at the beautiful women. She's looking at you. I don't think so. She's looking at me, standing in the spotlight. I bought myself a great guitar when everybody loves you. You can never be lonely. I will never be lonely. Said I'm never gonna be lonely. I wanna be a lion and everybody wanna pass as cats. We all wanna be big, big stars, yeah. But we got different reasons for that. Believe in me, 'cause I don't believe in anything. And I wanna be someone to believe, yeah. Mr. Jones and me stumbling through the barrio as we stare at the beautiful women. She's perfect for you, man. There's got to be somebody for me. I wanna be Bob Dylan. Mr. Jones wishes he was someone just a little more funky when everybody loves you. Our son will be about as funky as we can be. Mr. Jones and me, staring at the video. When I look at the television, I wanna see me staring right back at me. We all wanna be big stars, but we don't know why and we don't know how. But when everybody loves you, I wanna be just about as happy as I can be. Mr. Jones and me, we're all gonna be big stars. Thank you guys.
One more time. Scarred Jeffries.
Ooh, thank you all. Such a gracious audience.
It doesn't.
There's
get
a lot of
more
words in
funky
that song.
than
Right.
That's a difficult one on bass only. That one took us a bit.
It's a good
Well
tune.
done.
It's a really great
Well
song.
done.
Thank you. Thank
I've
you.
been practicing that song for 10 years and I still won't perform it in front of people.
It's hard. There's so many. I screwed with the words rehearsing it before we got here today. So you know, and we've been doing it for years. So it's just one of those ones, I think.
You guys
It's a
nailed
great one.
it. Well done. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Thank you.
Oh, it takes it takes a big pair, for a lack of better term, I guess, to like go up and do what you're doing. I don't know if people are out there and they're experiencing you guys. I just have to say, as a performer, as a singer, like, man, it just takes a big pair to get up there and do what you guys are doing, and you guys are.
Thank you
owning
so
it.
much.
It's so beautiful. Yeah. It's
Thank
almost
you.
like an a cappella on both your parts, and then you put them together. And
Right.
then- yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you. That's such a sweet thing to say. I really appreciate that. Yeah, we both used to play with other bands for many years, and being a couple that when you're both musicians, when you're off time, you sit around and party and play, right? And
Right.
we never really planned on it becoming a project. We just started kind of playing songs when we were hanging out, just in our with each other, or when off from our other bands, and it kind of just started evolving and turned into. We're like, hey, maybe this could actually work. And it took a while to catch on. I mean, even before COVID, we were still like barely. Some people were like, yes, we love it. And some people were like, I don't get it. But,
I
to each
get it.
their own. So,
I remember when we quit our band, it's scary to just be a duo and just be like,
and people
But at the
assume it's
same
going to be
time, you're so
singer-songwriter,
free.
and it's not.
so
So,
Precisely.
they don't expect it to be what we're creating. So,
That's good though. You got to kind of hit them a little bit with that surprise. It's always good.
Mhm.
That's why I wanted the show. I was like, yeah, these two groups right here definitely stand out. And I've always been about that for carving. As a musician, you got to carve your own path
Mhm.
with a lot of things. And like there is going to be a lot of like pigeonholing and trying to put in boxes. But I think as long as you just stay true to yourself and what you want to do, you know what I mean? People, there will
Absolutely.
be an audience for it. People will see
Mhm.
that genuineness and be like, yeah, like I like that because of what it is. You know what I mean? And because it does stand different than that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Right.
you said, you don't do Mustang Sally and stuff like that. You can
Mhm.
go a lot of places.
I mean,
It's
nothing
like,
wrong with Mustang Sally. It's
No,
just
I
not
know,
my,
I just
it's just not my jam.
do it as a ska version.
Other people, lots of people love that jam. So I'm not
Right.
hating,
There's those tunes where like you see those memes of like it's gonna cost you $50, and there's truth to that in that sense that we're like whenever we've done them, it's because people requested them and they put money up
so many times
for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I remember
Mhm.
Nosotros got paid $100 to do Moni Moni, and we don't even. And people hit us up to do. And the thing with that is that we'll end up doing them like salsa or cumbia or something.
Uh-huh.
We'll still groove them out, but we give them our version or our vibe of that, or we'll start
Mhm.
and then we'll go into that. Like we'll change the feel of it, and so that kind of stuff. And like that tune, when I played with Liquid Cheese, we'd play bars and we'd be like, oh, I'll play Mustang Sally. So we would do it, but we would do it ska. And like,
Ooh,
and so
cool.
we had the horns and everything, and so people would trip out because they were like, "I wasn't like not like that." like play Mustang Sally. No, not that, not like that. Like, and it's kind of like, well, fuck you. You're gonna get how we give it to you, because that's
Well, I
what
think
we
things
do.
should be genuine, you know? I mean,
Right.
not every song is meant to be performed by every musician. I think it has to be personal to you too. I don't feel like I can sing a song that I can't relate to the lyrics, or I can't put it in my own life.
Right. It doesn't make you
Nothing
feel
wrong with the
something.
song. I mean, like there's great songs that I just think there's certain singers and certain players for every song. And, if you're going to do something, a cover, I think you should play it from the heart and play it however it feels right for you to play it,
Right.
I mean, some people are great at covering songs exactly like the record, and that's amazing. That's an amazing skill set, but I think there's more than one way to kind of play a cover. So
Right. No, it's totally, but it's good, and it's nice to see like the different path with it, because it is, like you said, there's a lot of great artists to do stuff that are like right on point, note for note. You're like, whoa, I don't think I could ever do that, but I could do it like this. Like I can give you my version of that stuff. So with that, it's, too, like you said, the personal, like for me, when I play, I do a lot of like reggae, and I do it like, that's where how you coined your own of concept cover band. I call my music Rasta Sabroso, which is
nice.
reggae, Latin, and soul music. And so reggae, Rasta, and then Latin is Sabroso, and then soul, because I play like same soul music. So I put them all together. So Rasta Sabroso. That's how I describe my music, because that's what I did. And I would try, after a while, I would think about it like, oh, I should do more of this. And I'm like, no, like, just be true to yourself. Like, play what you want to play, because those songs, to me, a lot of the songs I pick are personal. Like when I do the Motown stuff, those were songs that I was raised on, that I love listening to, and I love those songwriters. So to me, it was like, I've always wanted to do those songs, but I can only do them my way, because, like, again, I don't have, Motown had orchestras and all kinds of shit going on with that,
Right.
And then you had James Jamerson on bass, so it was like, and so I don't have any of that. So it's like, how do I do it as just one person and stuff? So
you got to get creative.
Yeah, so like that kind of stuff, and not just kind of do it, or try to make it sound exactly like the recording. I want it to definitely have my own thing. So I feel it's good with that, because we do, the balance of it is really good, of the type of performance of that, because I think, you need that variety. You definitely like, we need that variety of it. Yeah, I mean, I think, and so to me, that's why I put you guys together, because it was just like, yeah, it felt really good, because every show, everybody's brought themselves to the table, and that's what I like about it, where it's like we're showcasing artists here and artistry and what they do, because everybody's doing their own thing. Like I did a cumbia tonight. Nobody did cumbia here tonight, but it didn't matter, because we're just here playing music. So it's nice. It's like, that's what I do. You're going to do now. You don't feel compelled, like you have to do something like that. You're going to do what you do. You represent yourself. So it's like, it's beautiful with that, because, that's the music scene. That's what it is. I think people need to see that as well, where it's like, and we are a community where we get together like this and stuff, and we support each other.
Together. I mean, especially during the apocalypse.
Right. No, totally. Like, it's what we're doing is different from each other, but it's no different. Like, I still support you as an artist. Like, you should be playing the same places that I play at, and vice versa. That kind of stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, everybody should be getting.
There's plenty to go around. It shouldn't be a competition.
Right. Right. Well, it's more. I feel it's more
art.
with the venues is more of that comes in, because the venues. I just recently reached out to a spot about that, and the first response, and I don't even really know how to, I responded to it as well as I could without being like kind of a dick, but it was just like, they were like, how many people can you bring to a show? And I was like, I hate that. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, and I said,
pre-COVID, during,
yeah, my response was like, well, I can bring what the state allows for people to be there. And I said, when the state allows more, I'll bring more. But I was like, I don't really know how to answer that. And I'm kind of like, yo, dude, is this a popularity contest and shit or what? Like, because again, I can send you 30 videos and you're still going to not watch any of them. You know what I mean?
They want Mustang Sally.
And then I played at this place too. I did a stream for them because they were doing some streams at the beginning, and they don't even remember. Like, they're not even like, oh, hey, how's it going? Like, when I was talking to them, they were talking about me coming back and all that. And I had to be like, hey, do you remember giving me a tour of the place and talking to me about coming back and playing for you? And like, not any of that. And I was like, back in the day, there used to be more personal when it came to that. Like you would talk to the manager, you had a relationship with the establishment. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You go in and the wait staff by name and stuff like that, and there's a rapport where they're like, yeah. And now it's so much not like that now, and it's just like, and then to see it already rolling out like that, that's why the busking. I'm like, the busking path is awesome because you don't have to.
People will ghost you on the internet.
Right.
Like
Passers-by can't go.
No, I mean even managers.
Right, especially when you're yelling at them.
Right.
Managers that have hired you 10 times won't even return email now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends. Yeah.
Rude.
And it's kind of weird. Yeah, it's kind of like, and like, I get there's a lot of people out there, but it's kind of like, well, if you're gonna do this, you need to be responsible. Like even for me doing this, like booking shows, I have to be in communication, and I've set out a schedule, and I even have a list, and I'm actually reaching out to people. Like some people have reached out to me
for April 10th. That's
Oh yeah.
Oh,
okay,
nice.
so it's good form to say if you're in Idaho, come see us at the
our
Dirty
last show was
Shame.
March 8th.
Cool.
We did
Wow.
2 shows.
Oh, you mean
In
last
1 year, we did 2
Wait a
shows
minute.
this year.
What you're saying is on March 8th of 2020, basically that's when all of our shipwreck stopped.
right.
Yeah.
I
we
think it was
were-
March for everybody because we just posted because we did something that video, that thing that we did was like March 3rd, and it was like that was, it's weird how March.
Yeah,
It's
March
crazy.
12th was our last show before COVID hit. We were at Zinc.
And I bet you guys can attest to this, but it's like you were playing
shit
about
better be
5
real.
days a week, and then it was strange because then this year we played like twice.
Right. I've done a lot of streaming stuff. We haven't done any. We did like a couple, like we did a drive-in thing, and then we did a couple virtual things. But we actually, it was for a while there. I didn't see my band for a long time. Like through this, we would see each other through StreamYard and stuff, but I didn't see. And then we started. Now we've been getting more social distancing together and doing videos, but we're still. Everybody's like, "Oh, do you want to do so?" Oh, no, it's cool. Like if we end up not getting, it's like it's all cool. I'll see you another time. It's all good. It's like, yeah, hopefully by the next time I see you, it'll be even better. And
Maybe you'll be in
Maybe back
person
in a
next
month.
time when we all
Right.
see each other.
right, yeah.
We'll meet on a corner and, throw down
Right.
some.
Well, when Half-A-Shipwreck comes back, you might see them busking out. You know what I mean? You might see me
We'll be
busking
there.
out.
We might be teaming up.
Yeah, we'll be there. We'll do it. You can't get rid of us now. Okay.
Right? We could put on a street festival, our own
We
pop-up
could.
street
We
pop-up
could
street
put a pop-up
festival.
street festival. I'm in. Let's do it.
Right?
You know,
stop us
I
from
built right before COVID, I built a stage on a flatbed trailer that has all
Psychedelic
raw
lights.
iron
Yes.
all around with a ceiling and so many lights like this and mirrors. It looks like a menagerie and I want to bust that out for everybody. It's not just for our band. I want to have huge parties.
That'd be
Hell
cool.
yeah. Hell yeah.
Pop up like jam in the van with like fucking jam on the street and shit. I'm gonna give you a round of
This is
I'm giving you a round of applause for that because that's like I was like, damn, like you guys always have, like I said, that's why I had to get you on because you guys have always amazed me with the ingenuity of.
this is
of
gonna be ingenuity.
So like, yeah, holler at me. You know what I mean? We're definitely in touch through social media and stuff. So when you guys come back in, we can maybe rendezvous. We'll see what April looks like. Let's get past March since it's going to be a year anniversary. Like let's knock on wood and burn the
Right.
candles.
All the sage. Let's not.
We getting into March. So, but
Amen.
yeah. So that was the last song, huh? Oh,
Fun, you
man.
guys. That was a
So
lot.
fun. I'm
That was.
so happy to meet all of you. Virtual hugs.
Virtual.
That was awesome. That was a good time. I
Very
wanted to real quick tomorrow night. I'm actually going to be a guest on a podcast for community publishing, so I wanted to throw a little shout out and the flyer real quick, just so if anybody wanted to tune in to community publishing tomorrow at 6 p.m. on their Facebook and their YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow night and I'll be on there. And I'm not quite sure what I'm doing. If I'm actually just going to be like showing some music or actually playing some live music. I'm hoping maybe I'll play some live music for y'all. Like, so if you tune in, and all that. And if not, you can catch it on the flip side. It is a podcast, so you can find it on Apple Podcasts and all that stuff. So, but yeah, shout out to Community Publishing for what they do too for the writers and stuff here in New Mexico. And yeah, it's so weird saying goodbye because it's like, oh man, it was a good time. And
Totally a good time.
we think it is such sweet sorrow, but we hope we all keep in touch with each other, and definitely when you release music, share it out, and we'll make sure to share it and check it out. Both
Ditto.
of you. I know you guys got some tasty stuff. Both of you guys have some good stuff coming out. So, and yeah, we thank everybody for tuning in and everybody that showed love. And make sure you check out the links and you check out these artists. I'm sure you're aware who they are now if you were aware before. But yeah, go show support because right now we can use all the support that we can until we can get back in public playing for y'all. And we appreciate y'all for when you're staying in and watching and tuning in with us because we enjoy playing music for y'all, and we definitely want to get back to that whenever we can. But until then, we'll keep with the alternatives. So. But I'm gonna hand it over to Scarred Jeffries. You guys want to say goodbyes?
Sure. We're just so thrilled for to be here and for you guys to have us, and to it's such a weird time. It's such a weird time, but these sorts of things have really allowed us, I think, to not go dormant through this whole thing. I know all art forms are suffering, but performance art is, it kind of requires an audience. So, I guess we're lucky to have all of the live streaming and stuff available. But we're happy to be here, and we look forward to seeing you guys again. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Nice. Let's give you Scarred Jeffries, everybody. Yeah. And Half-A-Shipwreck.
Ooh, parting words, Robert? Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. It's been great hanging out with y'all. It's been great connecting with everybody in cyberspace.
Even if no one watched, at least we got to practice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
I just cared about seeing you guys. If anybody else jumps on, that's such an added bonus. And
Right.
so appreciated. But yeah, if you happen to be in Idaho, come on up to the Dirty Shame. We'll be playing on April 10th. Saturday, April 10th, and then in Santa Fe, let's say mid-April into May. I bet you'll see us. Mm-hmm. Yep, and watch out, Scarred Jeffries at your doorstep. We'll be there. We'll be there.
Anytime.
Nice.
Anytime.
I'm good. And cheers to making new friends and then bringing, everybody coming together to the music community. Much love to both of y'all. Give it up for Half-A-Shipwreck and Scarred Jeffries, everybody, one more time. It was a good pleasure for having them on tonight. Them bringing their style and their vibe and just being them. That's beautiful. I love it. Yeah, because music, it just comes in all shapes and forms and stuff, and it's beautiful. It's inspiring, and don't forget about us. You know what I mean? We're out here making music for
We're
you.
still
So,
here.
yeah, the music community as a total, and I'm very fortunate for everybody that's tuned in and all the artists that have been on, and then everybody that I have planned and stuff, because I couldn't really do this without y'all. And for me, it's really fun. It's a really great time because, like I said, it's new. I meet new friends, I meet new people, and it brings me more up close and personal because I see stuff online and I'm like, I like this video and I hear this song, but like you get to meet the personalities behind it where you're like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, and it's, to me, that's a really great thing because then you kind of see where that comes from, where you're like, oh, okay, like I can see why you do the songs that you do. Like it's weird too. I trip out too, like how close in age everybody is and stuff. And I'm like, oh man, like it's so crazy. Like we're all doing, and the music and it shows too, because it's just like what we're playing. We're like, that was the tunes. And it's weird now too, because some songs where you're kind of like, I'll say like, this is a classic now. And it was like, yeah, this is from the 90s. And you're like, the 90s and 2000s is like, like you think about 2000s is 20 years ago, 90s is 30 years ago. So it's weird because you're like, well, what's classics now? Like even like,
yeah, like Green Day's like classic rock, I think, or something.
Right. Yeah. And then oldies, like how old is oldies? Like what's Smokey Robinson and Stevie Wonder now? Like that's like classical. And then oldies is like, the like Erica Badu or something. Like
Right.
you're kind of like, what? I don't. It's weird. So, but it's cool growing like musically with that and still bringing that, because those, some songs just they hold the test of time. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're always, it's always going to be a good song. Like you hear
That's
it.
good writing.
Yeah. So,
Right.
so really great. So much love and thanks for you guys for being with me tonight. I really, really appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
And I'm going to send us off with a little music and our outros and stuff. And we thank the audience for being so wonderful. And we will see y'all next time. And we thank you for tuning in. Much love and thanks. Peace. So here's a little music for y'all. And I'm going to send y'all away with our last sponsor. We have a Trail Rider Pizza, who hosted live music before the pandemic. And they've always been a big supporter of live music. And they're gracious enough to be a sponsor with us. So we'll send y'all off with some yummy, delicious food.
We done?
I know I'm going to have some dinner.